Of the Board of Directors of the San Diego County Taxpayers Association. As many of you know, we are the oldest and largest taxpayer protection nonprofit agency in San Diego County. This is a very exciting time at taxpayers. We are adding to our board. We've got, if you look at this, we've got 35 plus taxing measures that are going to be on the ballot in November here in the county. Some of these are countywide, some of these are citywide to San Diego, some of these are city-specific elsewhere. There are school bonds, community college bonds, water, drainage, bonds, sales taxes. All those issues are going to be reviewed by this organization over the next 90 days, and we are going to fill this board up with yeses and nos. And in the past, we've been known as an organization that primarily says no. That has changed. We actually supported the school district, San Diego Unified School District bond measure that was on the ballot 2 years ago. There were things in it we did not like, but we realized that we needed to protect our children, and the security component in that bond measure swayed taxpayers to support it. So even though we don't like raising taxes, we think sometimes you need to, and we will analyze it, and we will tell you when we think it's smart to raise taxes, and we're going to tell you when we think it's stupid to raise taxes. And we're going to do it in a nonpartisan way. We would love to have your support. We have household memberships at $99. If you are not a member of taxpayers, we need you and we want you, and please go online to sdcta.org. Pop in your 99 bucks and you will become a member of taxpayers. There's a whole list of benefits that you get that will be outlined on the website when you go to sign up. So please do that. Also, we have Taxpayer Olympics coming up in, Kathy, when is about 60 days?
It's May 30th at Riverwalk.
May 30th at Riverwalk. There's a golf component. There's a wine tasting component. Is there a scotch tasting?
There's a whiskey tasting.
There's a whiskey tasting component in the Taxpayer Olympics. Kathy has information, and please be sure to grab a card on the way out. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Terry. We're going to do introductions later, but this is Terry and Gloria.
You're Gloria.
So, and the last thing I want to tell you is Haney has a great piece coming out in the Union Tribune this weekend entitled Something About His Midlife Crisis. So if you get the paper, take a look. It's an interesting piece. So that's the commercial. I guess I am supposed to do introductions now. Is that what I'm supposed to do, Kathy? Introductions? Kathy is with the collaborative group, and her husband Doug is here to lend support. Kathy and the collaborative group helped put on this event. Thank you very much, Kathy, for doing that. Doug, thank you for helping. So let's just start right up here. Since you already know Terry, we'll start with Terry and Gloria. If you are a member of taxpayers, please let that be known. And if you're serving on a committee, a citizen bond oversight committee, any of that involvement, please be proud and just say it, because we want folks to know what you're doing with this. Thanks, Terry. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Terry McCurney. I've been a member of the taxpayers, I think, for about 20 years, and I chair our Excellence in Education subcommittee, so I'm going to do a little bit of a promotion here. One of the benefits you get if you belong to the Taxpayer Association is you get to sit on oversight committees, and some of them are for bonds that school districts present. Some of them are for the tax oversight committees that Carla is in charge of. And serving on one of these committees is a tremendous opportunity. Dusan just signed up to serve on the Oceanside Union School District bond oversight. When these bonds are passed, many of them will be, They require a oversight committee that's made up of citizens that includes a member of the Taxpayers Association to see that those funds are used for what the people voted for. It's an opportunity and it's a privilege, a right of being a member of the Taxpayers Association, which is a good time to introduce Gloria, my wife, because she sits on a couple of those.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Gloria McCurney. I am in the Taxpayers Association and I represent the San Isidro School District and Chula Vista Elementary School District in their bond oversight committee. I'm also in the education committee. And my background is 30 years in education. I was a teacher and school principal. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Detloff, and I'm Mike McLaughlin's assistant.
Babysitter, actually. Stacy.
Hi, I'm Stacy. I'm just an attendee supporting our new mayor.
Very fine. Laura, you want to jump next?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Laura Carter. I'm also an attendee supporting our new mayor.
Thank you.
Kevin Waller, also a attendee, supporting the mayor.
Hey, this is Danny Quesada, and I'm here supporting, and I've heard a lot of stuff you said on social media, so I thought I'd check it out in person.
Nice.
Awesome.
Hello everyone, Terrence Davis. I'm a United States Marine who has decided
Hoorah.
to support another Marine. This year support a Marine doing his thing. I think he is going to take San Diego by storm, and I'm super excited to watch it.
I'm Ray Coyne, here to support the new mayor.
Dang, this is going good.
Yeah.
Let's do the vote today.
That's right. Send those ballots out now. Thanks, Ray.
Hi, I'm Esteban. I'm civically curious.
Okay.
I'm Sandra Garcia. I live in downtown. Here with the new mayor.
Hi, I'm Matthew Madge. I'm a trial attorney. I'm here to support our new mayor.
Hi, I'm Miguel Diaz, and I'm a resident of downtown San Diego, here supporting our new mayor.
Thanks.
And Logan, we'll just sort of swing over that way.
I'm active duty Navy. I'm here to support our new mayor.
Thanks.
I'm Paul Kruger with Neighbors for a Better San Diego and the Taxpayers Association, here to support the mayor.
And Paul also does, one of the tasks that he has volunteered to take on, in fact, he originated the task, is he watches what's going on down at the San Diego City Hall, and he goes down and speaks on issues on behalf of taxpayers. And if you see editorials in the newspaper from Paul Kruger, you know that's Paul, and you know he's looking out for taxpayers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
I coordinate media for Larry Turner, and I'm here to support our new mayor.
You better.
Sean Mossler, I'm I guess here to support the new mayor too.
Hi, I'm Jeff Uter. I'm a member of Taxpayers, but I'm also chair of Neighbors for a Better San Diego, and we do all the planning that the city should be doing, particularly the analysis of bad housing policy.
And we are strengthening our relationship with your group. It's a great group. Thank you.
Thank you. Doug Cohen, Point Loma residents, here to support Larry's campaign.
Rick Gentry.
Rick Gentry, retired after 50 years of affordable housing. The last 14 years as CEO of the San Diego Housing Commission. I sit on the Taxpayers Board. And it's a good sign that you can be a social liberal and still believe in good government policy.
And Larry, I'm going to do your introduction. And Carla, you want to just say hello?
Carla Farley, local real estate broker, but you find me anywhere in housing. I do chair the subcommittee on the government finance issues for taxpayers, and past president, Realtor Association, housing policy anywhere from national, local, and state.
So the issue of the San Diego city of San Diego sales tax will be going through Carla's committee, and she'll get the first whack at it as it works up through our 5-tier system. Lori, good evening.
Good evening. Lori Saldana, retired educator and recovering politician.
Love it.
Lori is one of the most active voices at at City Hall on prudent policy and speaks several times a week. While we don't always agree on issues, and I'm sure there's a difference with everyone, she's there telling the City Council what it needs to hear.
Yes.
Okay, hi. Laura Lothian, I'm the Vice Mayor of La Mesa, and I'm here to support Larry Turner, and also because Todd Glory is a really horrible mayor, and his policies are now seeping into the city of La Mesa.
My name is Dusan Salazan. I'm with Balfour Beatty Construction, member of the Taxpayers Association, Excellency in Education. And as Terry said, I just joined the Oceanside Unified School District as an oversight committee member.
I'm Becky Bean. I'm here to support Larry Turner.
My name is Jeff Vegas. I'm a downtown San Diego resident, here to support Larry Turner. Excited to hear what he's got in store tonight.
Yes.
And I'm just University Club member and curious about what you have to say today.
Great to have you here.
Morgan Barrow, here to support Larry Turner. Just had Larry on my podcast, so Inspire Your Life if you want to. It's coming out in a few weeks, so awesome. Great episode.
Nice.
Best episode yet.
Okay.
Simon Cottrell, I'm a big supporter of Larry Turner. Hope you do well. I know you're going to.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike. I'm Patty Lucy Brooks. I am a publisher of a newspaper that's been around for 25 years. It's an urban newspaper. I'm also on the board with Mike for the Old Town Chamber of Commerce. I'm also on the board of the Uptown Planners. And as an Uptown Planners board member, I'm the chair of the Design Review Committee and the Historic Resources Committee. And I'm also here to support Larry for mayor.
The beautiful lady in the far back.
And we've got some Channel 8 folks back there. Just pop in and say who you are, please.
I'm Richard Allen from Channel 8, a reporter.
Yeah, I know photographers don't generally get acknowledged.
It doesn't happen without you.
Just John.
Just John.
John, great to have you here.
Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia Turner and I probably have the toughest job in this room. I'm joking.
I asked her where the kids were tonight, and you said.
That's why I say toughest, because we have Zachary, which is 3, and Zoe, who is 18 months. And my job is to stay home with them and support our husband, or my husband, do well, hopefully.
Yes.
Thanks, Cynthia. Yes.
I'm Doug Fremling. I'm
yes,
medical management company in construction.
I was in mine.
I know.
And let's see. Anybody else just coming in? Yeah.
My name is Michael. I work at the Department of Homeland Security. I'm just flying through.
Cool.
And to protect the new mayor.
Well. Okay. So I didn't realize there were going to be so many supporters for you here. It's like, so anyhow, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the questions are not going to be too hard
I hope they're hard.
tonight. So let me just say right up front, in all fairness to Todd Gloria, whether you like his politics or don't like his politics, we had a mix-up on scheduling. So I'm going to take this sign off. This is, was it his fault? Was it our fault? Who knows? Who cares? We don't. We hope he doesn't. The door is always open to him or any other elected official or city leader who wants to come and talk to all of us about good government and how we can make things better. And the door is always open to Todd. And if he wants to come back one-on-one, that's fine. If he wants to come back and have a debate, we're happy to host that. And so I do not hold this against Todd that he is not here this evening because the mix-up was as much ours as his. So, having said all that, let me introduce the man who needs no introduction because you all know it. So you're going to have, what, about a 10-minute presentation?
Yeah,
And then we're
just
gonna do
maybe even a little less than that. I'd really like to get into questions more
Okay.
than, you all have a chance to see me on the website all the time, so I'll be brief.
So I will do the introduction, and then Larry's going to be brief, and then you've got cards that we asked you to write questions on. Carla's going to have those cards, and Carla's going to be doing the interviewing. And if things get out of hand, we're going to have Marilyn tackle it.
And we have the Homeland Security in there.
Yeah.
So, we have a mayor's race coming up. I have been watching mayor's races going back to Roger Hedgecock. That was back when I was 3 years old. This city is a challenge to manage, and it always has been since I've been here. Larry is as you know, a Marine, retired lieutenant colonel. Spent 23 years in the Corps. Left 8 years ago, became a San Diego police officer, and he's currently the community relations officer here for the downtown area. You have met his wife Cynthia. They have 2 great kids. They live in Ocean Beach. Larry is running as an independent, and we like independence, but we might also like Todd Gloria in fairness. So if there's folks here, everybody at you're welcome at Taxpayers. So, having said that, Larry, did I forget anything?
No, that's pretty good. Thank you very much.
Well,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great to have
Hey, it's such a pleasure to be here, and I honestly, many of you I just met here tonight, so this wasn't a planned thing where we packed the audience with friends, so I appreciate all the support out here. It's been a pleasure to get a chance to talk with all of you, and those that I didn't get a chance yet, stick around after, and we can hang out and get to know each other a little bit better. I'd love to hear what's on your mind. So as I said, I'm going to keep this a little bit shorter, just because I'd like to hear from you. I like to be a little different than politicians, and listening more to the people who are out there, the folks that are going to hire me. And I look at this like a chance to be hired by you. I'm applying for a job to work for the citizens of San Diego. And I truly believe that. I know you'll hear that from a lot of politicians, but the difference is that I'm not a politician. I've never been a politician, never wanted to be a politician, never wanted to run for any kind of an office before. This just sort of happened, sort of organically, and this grassroots movement has just started about 6-8 months ago. And here we are in the middle of it, and it has been an awesome ride getting to meet everybody in the city. And I love it. I love all these opportunities. We're doing things like this almost every night. So, even though Mayor Todd's not here tonight, I know of many other debates that have been put on the schedule for the next 6 months. So he'll have plenty of opportunities to do it again. And we'll adjust our schedule to flex for his anytime he wants to do it. So that'd be great. Again, I am applying for this job. This is a job interview. I want to work for you. How I got here, most of you know my background, and you've seen it on my website, you've seen a little bit about me, but just real briefly, I grew up in California, lived all over the place in California. I grew up with the values of service and community drilled into me from a family, mostly military folks. Grew up in humble upbringings, but was able to go to college. First person in my family went to college, and as soon as I did, I called 1-800-Marines. Right off the billboard, right there on Highway 99. I remember the billboard. And signed up, and when I did, they sent me off to Quantico. I became an officer. You want me to use a microphone?
No, that's got this down where you are.
I became an officer, and right away at 23 years old, I was a platoon commander. And I've got 30 Marines whose lives kind of depend on me, and that I'm training them well enough, I'm getting them ready, getting their families ready, so that we can be ready to go on the instance notice with our country's call, and make sure that they're trained well enough and we've done everything right so that I can bring them all back safely. And that continued on through a 23-year career where I kept moving up in larger and larger organizations and greater levels of responsibility throughout those years. I've worked with a lot of government agencies, a lot of folks from the Senate and Congress. I have been all over the world on combat operations and humanitarian operations. So bring a lot of that kind of experience here to San Diego. When I came back, 23 years of just coming back on my vacations. I didn't really go into a lot of the parts of town. I would go to the beach, I'd go to my favorite restaurants, see my family and friends, hang out at their houses. It wasn't until I was getting ready to retire that I really started going all around in the other parts of San Diego and seeing what had happened over those 23 years. And for most of you, that was a slow turning up of the water to the boiling point, where you just sort of, you saw it happen slowly over that time. I saw it all at once, and it was shocking. And I just thought, I've been out serving my country for 23 years, and who's been running the show? And it's not just Mayor Gloria, it's a lot of folks that have been doing this for a long time. But, where were the adults over those 23 years that kept San Diego safe and stepped up and had the right policies and made the right grown-up decisions to make our city the greatest city in America, which it should be. We have not been the finest city for a very long time, and it's time to bring that back. I initially wanted to work with homeless vets. That was kind of my passion. The homelessness has always been something that's been near and dear to my heart, but especially with those vets that have been out there and served their country. I wanted to get them off the streets, but I chose to be a police officer, and actually just for a little while. I only wanted to do it for a couple years. And I thought that'd be a really good reintroduction to the city, get to go into all the different areas of the city again. And I'm just going to put this down. I'm not going to go through the slides. The reintroduction to the city, I ended up doing it a lot longer than I thought. Right here we are, 8.5 years later, and I'm still a police officer. I loved it. I love serving the community. I love going out there and meeting everybody and helping them with their problems. And every day there's just something really amazing that would happen as a police officer out on the street. Get to save somebody's life, get to get a bad guy off the street, whatever it might be. But I really enjoyed the interactions I had. I had been a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps, and that means you're usually in at dark, and you leave at dark, and I was in the intelligence field, so there were no windows either. You're in an intel facility. So just the opportunity to be out in a patrol car and have some classic rock on and the windows down, and just get to say hi to people and interact with the community, it was just such an awesome feeling. So I just kept doing it a little longer than those 2 years. So here we are at the 8-year mark. Well, a few years ago, I started doing community relations. Got out of the patrol car, started meeting with the people at the different associations, the building associations, homeowner associations, religious groups, businesses, all that, and got to see how these city policies are really affecting them. And in doing so, I did have some interaction with some of the elected officials and their staffs, and I was really amazed to see the not so much of an experience level on the folks that are advising the elected officials. You'd think for the 8th largest city, you'd have some people with a lot of experience that are in the room. Now, they got a lot of experience advising, but not on the subject matter for which they're advising. And it's sad. That's kind of what's gotten us to this point where we're at today. And I always talk about just bringing in some grown-up leadership back in here. I've got a group of people that are on my team. They're advising me on different policies, and I refer to them as my graybeards, as we used to call it in the Marine Corps, the old retired generals that would come in and advise the folks. We've got people that used to be city managers, city council members, folks that have been business leaders in the city, and they've all come in and become my advisors, and they've been helping me with my policies. So it's going to be a totally different look of a city once I get a chance to make those changes after November. So here I am now, just being part of this American experiment, trying to live the American dream, come to a city. I got an awesome wife who backed me up on allowing me to do this. This is something as I said, this is something I never wanted to do, and I was looking for somebody else to step up and do it, and I wanted to back them up. I was fine being behind the scenes, but nobody was doing it. So just one of those things, as I'm sure the other Marines in here can attest to, you just can't sit back and watch it going downhill like this without stepping up and doing something. So I signed up kind of last minute, and I've been running this campaign since. I'm an independent. I'm a lifelong independent, not something I did tactically for this. I've always been an independent, and I find that that's very comfortable position to be in, where I don't have strings attached to me from political parties. I'm the kind of person who's not going to be taking any money. I've already announced that. I'm not taking any money from any of the people that are doing business with the city. So I'm going to owe no favors to anybody, parties or to the businesses that are out there. You're going to have a mayor that's going to work for you. Truly work for you. Yep. And some of us were at an award event that the journalists had given the Wall Award to Mayor Gloria. And they have their window award and their wall award. And that was basically the elected official who stonewalls and hides and is not transparent. So they awarded him that award last week. I want to not just say that I'm going to be transparent. I told some of my staff, I want them to invent a new award for the way I'm going to be. It is going to be 24/7. It's just going to be an open door with us. We're going to have cameras in the room all the time. We're going to make you tired of seeing what's going on behind the scenes. Right away on day one, we got the auditors coming in to look at the books and to really do a great audit. Have the accountants come in and show everybody what's been going on. We're going to have people doing investigations on all of this and looking into how to fix it so it just doesn't happen again. So if you like the way things are going right now, I'm probably not the right person to vote for. I promise you it's going to be very different. A lot of people promise you change, and then it is change, but it's change in the wrong direction. But we're just going to take over this problem. We're going to tackle it. I've got the right people on my team to do it, and I'm really looking forward to having an opportunity to do it. And I ask you all, you know, we talk about that blind political allegiance to your party. You know, it's great to be a Democrat or Republican or a Libertarian or whatever you are. That's fine. I'm not ever asking anybody to leave a party or anything to vote for an independent. But please look at the city. You know, if you imagine the city the way you really wish it could be, you know, the way it really could be, you know, and you see what's out there now, you know it's not it. I mean, I don't know who in here would raise their hand and say that yeah, this is where we wanted it to be. This is not it. And you have somebody who's tried for 3.5 years at doing it, and he hasn't done it. Okay, maybe a good guy, maybe was really good in assembly, or I'm not busting on any of that, but 3.5 years was enough of a tryout for this. To hurry up now and try to look busy and get some things done, get a 1,000-bed facility, all these things that we could have been doing the last 3 years, it's just too late. And we need to take a different direction with the city. And I'm really hoping that you all take it with me. I have been by your side as a Marine. I've been by your side as a police officer. You know, you don't really got to leave your party to come by my side. I have been by your side all along. And I really hope that in November, you know, you tell your friends and you vote for me for a new change. And I promise you, you're going to get those results that you're promised many times and you just don't get. You're going to get them with me. Thank you all very much. And as I said, I like to hear from you all. Most of our things, we call them Larry Listens, our events.
Larry Listens.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, she came over there. The young lady over there, you might know. So, yeah, so, you know, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and so I like to listen a lot more than I talk. That's where I find out what's going on in the city, and so I'm looking forward to some tough questions, even if you do like me and we're going to vote for me anyway, give me something tough, and
All right.
I'm going to take my water.
I've been saying turn it around.
Turn it
around.
All right, so in the interest of time, we are doing cards, which is a little bit different for policy at the pub, so if anybody was wondering, but that way we can get everybody's question out, hopefully. If you haven't gotten a card, you got Kathy back there, she has some, and you can pass it up.
And if we run out of time, I'll stick around and answer whatever questions people have.
I didn't write any of these, though, I'll promise
All
you. That's what you to know before we really get into it. All right, so first question. What are you going to do about the influx of migrants at the border?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, that's a really troubling one right now. So the thing that we have an issue with is obviously it's a federal issue, right? The federal government's the one responsible for securing the border. But we have zero communication right now with ICE or with the customs folks. And I have relatives that work in those agencies. We're not allowed to talk to them. That law was passed a while back in an effort to make sure that we were not going out and letting them know when we had folks who were criminals on our side, so that they could be safely not be deported out of the city. But what we could have been doing all along, and we haven't been, is communicating with them on safety-related issues. So when these boats pull up into Carlsbad just a couple weeks ago, or La Jolla right before that, there is zero communication with the Coast Guard, with Border Patrol, and San Diego Police Department. And while San Diego Police Department cannot go and enforce the federal laws legally, we can't do that, we could still be there to ensure your safety. Because I know a lot of people are afraid, and I happen to know a lady that was walking her dog during one of those days, and she rightfully freaked out walking her dog and seeing these boats show up and all these men running up on the shore. She had no idea what's going on. So at the end of the day, we can have people coordinated to be there on time. Again, not to arrest them for any kind of a federal issue like that, but to offer them services, get them a ride to a safe place where they can be, and not running around through the neighborhood looking for those opportunities in the neighborhood. We used to do this a long time ago down in San Ysidro. We had a joint task force where we worked closely with them, and that's just gone away. We've got to bring that back. We've got to be on the same radio frequencies with those guys too, so we know what's going on. I would tell you that the folks that are coming across the border, that many of them are taking up our homeless shelter beds. Many of them are. But I would tell you the majority, just from my experience, it's almost impossible to get a true number on this because we're not allowed to ask the question of your status as a citizen, so we can't really get that. But the people that I know and that I've talked to out there, most of the ones that are coming here to use our beds, it's for a very short period of time, and they're moving on to other cities. They have other places in mind than staying in San Diego. So it is hurting us on the homeless front, but not for very long. There are some that are staying here. I'm not saying that all of them are moving on, but the largest majority of them are trying to get into other parts of the city, so other parts of the country. My biggest threat that I feel is for San Diego is the fentanyl that's coming in through the border. San Diego is the hub for all the fentanyl that's coming in the country. About 85–90% of it comes through San Diego. That's another thing. So all the death that's happened on our streets is happening all over America. Most of that's coming through San Diego. As an independent, and I have no party obligation to a Democrat governor or a Republican governor or a president, whatever, I can call them out for what they're not doing. I can call out the governor for not bringing the National Guard down here. I can call out the president. We're the 8th largest city. If we're jumping up and down about it and hollering on megaphone, we could get the president's attention. We can get national news on San Diego. And that's what should be happening. It's just not. I think when you get people that are all the same party, they don't want to really call out the higher ups because they have aspirations to move up. I have no aspirations to be anything but a husband and a dad. So when I'm done being mayor, I'm through with this. So I will take every opportunity to call out the president and the governor when they're not helping us out down here. We need a lot of help. Our police department is so short-staffed as well to handle this. This is something that's a little bit out of our control, but I do have some other ideas we can do on that I can share with you after this, just in the sake of getting to some more questions.
All right, and this one can probably take you there. I'm already
All right.
foreseeing this. So we just give the short bullet points.
I'll try my best.
Name a promise by Mayor Gloria that he has broken and that you will provide.
Sure. On homelessness, taking care of the homeless crisis. It was not as bad as it is now under his watch. When he first took over, it was not this bad. And it has increased every month for the past 24 months. It has increased. All right. The deaths on the street have increased every year. I think last year was 620 something deaths. 3 years ago it was like 120 some deaths. So that's the kind of stuff that has been going. He has not kept up to his promise. It's gotten far worse under his watch. And here we are at the end trying to hurry up and fix it. How am I going to fix it? Is with a different approach than the Housing First program. Housing First does work for some people, but it doesn't work for the majority of them out there. We got to help them with the underlying problem that they have, and I want to do that. And I want to do it with shelter beds first. So it's not the place where you send them off to stay the rest of their life. That's the first step in the process. Get them the help they need, those wraparound services, whether it's with chemical addiction, mental health issues, whatever it might be. They're going to have that at a good place that's got compassionate people that work there, that triage, see what they need. Everybody out there, I'm friends with a lot of the homeless. A lot of them text me all the time about what's going on. Everybody out there has a little bit different kind of an issue that they're dealing with. And that cookie cutter kind of approach that we've been doing with these safe parking lots and this thing they want to do out of Kettner and Vine, that doesn't work. You have to go talk to the homeless people and understand that they're humans just like the rest of us. So I'm going to change that.
All right. What has been the most unexpected experience of being a candidate?
Oh, yeah. I've gotten a chance to go to parts of the city that I didn't normally go and hear from everybody. I love meeting everybody and getting all that. But I'll hear some issues that are of a higher on their list of priorities than I would have imagined. I've thought that crime, homelessness, right? The cost of living, infrastructure, all these things. But to some people, it's literally pickleball. You think I'm joking? Yeah, that's going to be a good movie someday. The pickleball tennis wars. But so you'll hear from people. It's amazing what their issue is, and for some of them it has been pickleball. And I don't mean to downplay pickleball. I'm sure it's great, but that's one that's really surprised me. Yeah.
All right. What would be your pathway to success? We know that this is a heated race.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be money for money and TV commercial for TV commercial. It's not a big force on force thing. So we're running this grassroots thing like an insurgency. I keep telling people it's like the Mujahideen against the Soviets. For all you young people, that was a bit more. But we don't have the money to do it. We're out there trying to get as much as we can. But if we came up with 2 million, they'd come up with 6. If we came up with 6, they'd come up with 20. That's how it is. So we're going to be doing this by going out and meeting as many people as we can, knocking on all the doors we can. But the biggest thing is relying on all of you to use your social media as well and spread the word that way. So we're doing it with videos. Our social media is really, really doing well. But I need all of you to spread that word. I think the way that I'm going to win is the fact that I'm independent. You don't have that family member who's going to get ticked off that you are supporting a Republican or a Democrat. That family member is not going to invite you to Thanksgiving anymore because you're supporting the candidate on the wrong side. I'm right here. I'm right here with all of you in the middle. We agree on 95% of the issues when it comes to the stuff that I'm supporting here that you all know that I'm getting behind. 95%. I have people in my staff that are on the left, on the right, in the middle. We all get along talking about those things in the middle. We're not arguing about that stuff that we just don't deal with here in San Diego. So if you can spread that word, we're gonna win. I'm putting myself out there, and it's really just up to all of you. I can't do this alone. I wanna work for you. If you want me to work for you, then you all gotta help me out by spreading that word, and that is how we'll win.
Pathway, thank
Yeah.
you. What is your position on construction project labor agreements?
Yeah, I'm a union guy. I am a big supporter of the union. So whenever I've met with union leaders, we only had a few meetings so far. Usually they're more in favor of people with a D in front of their name, which is sad. I like them to come and have a chance to talk to me so they can see, how I'm not necessarily as far off as they think I am, and we can come to some understanding that, hey, when Larry wins, it's not the end of the world. Larry is actually a pro-union labor guy, and they'll see that when they get a chance to talk to me.
All right. Do you have any plans to reach out to your counterparts in Tijuana?
Yes.
The mayor. All right, for a better cross-border relationship.
Oh yeah,
Short answer,
definitely,
yes.
definitely.
Perfect. If elected, how can you make downtown safer?
Sure. I would just tell you, right now, most of you have no idea how few police officers are working out there in downtown San Diego. You really don't. I won't say it because it's on TV. But it's an alarmingly small number of police officers down there, okay? What they're doing is about 85% of the calls they're going to, nonstop, is going to be homeless-related calls, all right? When we tackle the homeless crisis, and we're never going to get rid of homelessness. I mean, it's been back in the Bible. But we're going to get rid of the crisis, and we can do that. It is not that hard to do this with the right approach. When we can do that, we're going to limit the amount of calls that are homeless-related by taking care of the homeless people in a compassionate way, and they'll be able to just go out there and take care of the crimes. That is what police are supposed to do. So I'm also going to build up our behavioral health units, our PERT units, because many of the calls we go to, police officers shouldn't be going to them. Really, it's stuff that we should have mental health professionals going on, and maybe an officer tagging along for safety. So we've got a lot of great approaches here to bring more officers on board too. I think when I'm on, morale's pretty low now with the police department. I'll go ahead and say that. It is. As much as the other side wants to say something else, officers are leaving San Diego in droves. And this latest pay offer that they got yesterday, it's going to cause more of them to leave. So when I'm coming in, and it's not even just with pay, it's just with morale, with knowing that they have a mayor that's got their back, we're going to be getting good police officers from all over the state and bringing them in here. And again, safety isn't just a police thing, but when we tackle the homeless issue, I think you're going to find downtown is a much safer place.
All right. Now this one might seem a little lighter, but it's not, depending on if you live near one.
Yeah.
How fast can you remove bike lanes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the bike lanes, yeah. As far as the bike lanes go, yeah, this is the greatest example, I think, of the folks in power just pushing their will down on us, and it's to herd us out of cars. Do I love the environment? Of course. Am I an environmentalist? Yes, I am. I mean, we drive electric cars, and we try to walk whenever we can. But there are some limitations on how fast we go into this, and just throwing bike lanes in these areas. And here's the worst part: is many of them have not been thought out well. They just haven't. They've been built unsafe. I've talked to bicyclists who will not ride in them because they're unsafe. I have seen, as a police officer, I have seen vehicle versus bicycle and vehicle versus pedestrian collisions on those roads because those bike lanes limit the visibility of the drivers. They just weren't thought out right. So will they all be removed? I don't, we're gonna have to look at the budget. I'm not gonna say they're all gonna be removed. Some will because they're safety hazards, but not all of them will. Some of them are gonna stay. I'm cognizant of all the parking spaces in front of businesses and the way the businesses are suffering as well. So this could have been thought out a lot better, and it would have been better done talking to the communities first and not just pushing this down onto the communities.
Oh, yeah. Clap that.
Okay, and this one had for whoever's card this is, I just can't make out this other word, so I'm just gonna cut that part, just so you'll know. I didn't purposely cut it off. But what ideas do you have to lower the cost of living?
Oh, wow, yeah. The biggest thing I wanna do is increase the amount of green in everybody's wallet. Okay, we got some things for cutting the cost of living too, but the biggest thing the mayor can do is bringing the businesses back into San Diego and cutting taxes, okay? And the power that the mayor of San Diego has over Sandag, You know, I know a lot of people think the Sandag's just this thing that's out there that the mayor doesn't really have a lot of control. Mayor Gloria has a lot of control over Sandag. So some of those ideas and the tax dollars that are getting pushed down on us to spend in certain ways, we can have a lot more control over that too. But back to the businesses. When we start filling up the convention center, when this is a safer place and a cleaner place, the convention center is full, the hotels are full, the restaurants are full, the maid, the manager, everybody in between starts making more money, all right? I've got some other ideas with other ways to find some savings here that I'll talk about later on. But getting back on housing side of it, there is not a housing shortage in San Diego. There isn't. There is an affordable housing shortage in San Diego. And some of the people that I've worked with, the developers I've talked to, on ways that we can cut out, I think it's 45% of the cost of the housing goes into just fees with the city. We can't cut that out. This is ridiculous. I mean, there's some infrastructure fees that they need to help out with. We can't just be building places and have, no upgrades to the water and sewer systems and that sort of thing. But if you look at how much it costs to build a house in San Diego versus in Texas or other places, it's alarmingly high. And we can cut a lot of that out. So I've got some developers going to help me out with cutting that out as well.
Your number was correct.
Number?
No, that's my field, real estate.
Oh, 45? Was it?
Your number was correct.
All right.
That's good. So, keeping with the real estate, what can we do about the vacant commercial space?
Yeah, for the vacant commercial space that is not full of asbestos, that's another issue. But the stuff that we can use, I know the number is going to increase, especially when they open up Horton Plaza. They've been holding off on opening that up. You can correct me on my numbers, but I think we're like at 30%-ish in the downtown area of vacant commercial space, and it's going to be going up to like 38 or 40. They're about. Give me a sway of like 2 points on those. But yeah, we can do a lot of work with that in converting some of those spaces into low-income housing. And I've talked to some developers that actually specialize in that. They'll come in and retrofit office spaces and stores and that kind of thing into those buildings. So we'll look into a lot of that to help with some of the affordable housing issues. And if any of that we can move City Hall into, then maybe we'll look into that as well.
All right. Somebody says that their motto is, they live by how can I help? So as an independent, what is something you are passionate about that you want to change?
Yeah, I'm passionate about a lot of things, but I would just say the first and foremost is on the homeless side. And the way that so many citizens of San Diego have grown numb to the people on the street suffering. And maybe you were a victim of crime from them, or you've just been making too much noise, whatever it might be, to where you kind of lost that inside of you, that compassion for them. I think in some places, if we were in, my family was from Kansas, you're walking around Wichita, Kansas, and you saw somebody on the sidewalk, you'd probably stop and start doing CPR and yell for someone to call 911. That just doesn't happen in San Diego anymore. And so I want to help save all those lives out there. I know there's a lot of diamonds in the rough out there. I'm friends with some of them. Good friend of ours, John Lutak, is a former homeless guy, addict. He's out there saving lives now as a counselor. There's a lot of great stories like John out there that are waiting to be happened. Not everybody's going to be that. Some people are going to barely be able to, we can give them some life skills and get them into a place and help them. But the other thing is saving the people we used to be, right? And to where we start being that person who's really concerned again when we do see someone on the sidewalk, when we do see a crime occurring. Because it just happens so much now that we've all just grown, like I said, just grown numb to it. So that's my passion, is to try to get that taken care of. The humans are taken care of first. Potholes and all that are important, but taking care of the humans, and then all of us heal inside as well.
Yeah, I like that. So that follows with this question, and I think we know the answer. Do you agree with homeless people being arrested? And if not, then how would you deal with that?
Yeah. So I have like a tough love approach. I think that we are going to legally and compassionately help the homeless people into taking our hand up into the offer that we have for a really good program. We're going to have, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to have enough beds. We're going to have those wraparound services. It's not going to be something that's, it's going to be something that's really, it's a really good program for anybody. I have a couple family members who are, I didn't know we're so close to a church. But I have a couple family members who are drug addicts and are on and off the street, and I want to make it so good of a program that I would really want them to come down to San Diego, and I feel good that a family member was in it. So when we have that, legally they can't be on the street. We can enforce the laws on the street. We don't have to pass new ordinances. There's been laws in the books for over 100 years in the penal code. There's illegal lodging, illegal camping, encroachment. All these things can be enforced. They can be enforced, as per the Supreme Court, if we have something better than where they're at. The current mayor and the governor are fighting that lawsuit. They want to say we shouldn't have to jump over that bar. I don't know. That's not a really high bar to jump over. That we just have something better than living on the street. And when I see these people on the street, you know, many of them, they're out of their mind with chemicals that are swaying their opinion. And in the law, in many cases, we've already determined that if somebody has had too much to drink at a bar and somebody takes advantage of that person, that they're in violation of the law because that person could not give consent. Yet we're seeking consent to a person who has narcotics in their system or alcohol, and we're asking them, hey, please come with me. Do you want to come with me? And we're taking the yes or no. These people cannot make the right decision. Also the same thing with people who have mental health issues. The law protects those who have learning disabilities or different types of mental health issues, and that you can't take advantage of them or else you go to jail. Yet we're relying on these same people to take us up on the offer to do the right thing and go to one of these centers where we're going to be able to give them the help that they need. So it is going to be something that they're going to have to do. They got to take us up on this. I see too many people bleeding on the street. They don't call the police. I help them out. I do first aid on them. I drive them to the hospital or I get an ambulance. And I'm just tired of seeing it. It's unsafe on the street. They are, you know, we talk about the crime levels in the street. Sorry, I'll get off this question in a second. But the crime is going down in the city. It just goes unreported. Yeah. We don't have enough call takers at our call taking center. We've been short 20 or 30 call takers, and why? The City Hall's known that for a long time. And when you're waiting 90 to 2 hours to call, you hang up. And I talk to the people who do that. So that's what we're facing right now. And then these people, they don't see enough police out there to protect them. So when they're kicked in the head or sexually assaulted or robbed, whatever it is, they're not waving down the police officer, right? They don't want to get you know, in trouble with the folks on the street for ratting out whoever did it. So there's a lot of crime on the street. It's dangerous out there, and I don't want to see them on the street. It is better for them to take us up on that offer. And some are going to say, yeah, well, I'm not going to go. I'm going to go to jail. There are some people who are going to go to jail, but a friend of mine here who has a family member who he and his mom are very happy that the brother is in jail because it's a safe place, and they know that the brother is safer in jail right now because he's an addict on the street.
Yeah, on the streets, right. All right. So the Taxpayers Association has said with the new 1 cent tax proposal that if it doesn't include a sunset clause, we'll oppose it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thought on that 1 cent sales tax?
Yeah, well, every plan the city has, they really need to be honest about it and expose it to the people and not try to push things through really quick, right? And be honest about it. So right away when you called it a 1 cent tax, that threw me when I first heard that, right? And people saying, oh, it's only 4 cents on a cup of coffee. Yeah, but you know, what about when I'm buying you know, something a little bit more expensive than a cup of coffee? So let's just call it 1% sales tax, and let's talk about the increase that it is. I think it's 18%. Well, this is the tax association, you guys know. It's an 18% increase on the sales tax, isn't it? It's right about 18, 19%, 17. Okay, thanks. I think I read your article on it. Thanks. So. Yeah, so let's be honest about that, not call it a 1 cent tax. So am I in favor of it? No, I'm not at all. As I said, we're gonna have auditors come in and look at the books on day one, and we're gonna run this like a business, and we're gonna balance this budget in the right way and spend money on the priorities. It's about safety, it's about homelessness, and it's about the infrastructure, and it's about cost of living. Everything else is nice to have. I like to have really nice water fountains at the, you know, beautiful fountains at libraries and painted intersections. That's all good stuff. And in San Diego, we could do that. But that other stuff has to come first. So, and I think we can do that. So I don't think we need that tax.
All right. Well, you said about budget, so that's great. That goes right into this one. So if you get into, well, give me the big picture on Mayor Gloria's proposed budget. Where would you align, and what would those differences be if you had any?
Yeah. So I've already mentioned that my top subjects are with safety. Under safety, I talk about homelessness too. So that's homelessness and safety, or under safety, and infrastructure. That's it. Those got to get the dollars. So I'm, you know, I think he's out of alignment with, he's doing a budget as a politician does. All right, he's not doing it like a business. I think when I get my people in there and we get a chance to crack this open and we align it properly with safety and infrastructure and given the attention to the communities that have been disregarded for far too long, you know, I don't see any of that in the budget right now. You know, you all know it, whatever part of town you live. When you're driving in certain communities, it's like you're in a different city, right? Mm-hmm. The roads are different. You know, I'm not even talking about the floods. I'm just talking about your tires and your shocks and your alignment on your car. It's a big difference when you're driving in different communities in this town. I don't see any of that in the budget. That's something that we're gonna really tackle hard, is the places that have been left behind are gonna catch back up.
All right. How can you fix Sandag's mismanagement with the SR 125?
Yeah. Just putting new staff on there. That'll be my short answer. Yeah, it just working with the other mayors that get votes. I know that La Mesa or with Coronado, Santee. I've talked to mayors, El Cajon. That we've kind of got a plan on how we're going to tackle Sandag together.
Okay, together. It seems that the public employee unions have a strong hold on power at City Hall. And with the overturning of Prop B, which is the pension problem, it causes it to grow rather.
Yeah.
What particularly can or will you do to address the pension problem?
Yeah, we really got to tackle that one. A lot of people don't even know about it, so it's this giant freight train coming right at us, and we don't have that much more time to do something about it. Other people have kicked it down the road. As I said, I'm not really interested in a career in politics, so I'm just going to make the right decision on it. So I've already been working with some people on looking at the legalities of some of the things we can do. I want to work with the unions on it as well. But anything we can do to transition from the pension that we have now, I know we've had some plans in the past that worked pretty well, but we're going to have to do some drastic measures on the new hires that we're going to have. Not just don't hire new people, we got to hire more staff here. The city's going to need more employees, but we're going to have to do it in a smart way with their pension. So I'm not saying we're going to kill the pensions, not at all, but we're going to have to do some smart stuff with possibly Social Security, 401k type stuff, employer matched funds and that kind of thing. We're going to have to get away from the pensions, or else the city's going to go bankrupt.
All right. With that being said, there were a couple extra cards, but he's actually answered those questions throughout that. Yeah. So we got a few minutes left. I'm looking at the time here. Anything else that you want to put out that maybe didn't get asked?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you all pretty much covered a lot of things. I could just take a one or two from the audience, I guess, if we got a minute.
There we go.
The gentleman over there with the cool gold chain.
Thanks, Larry. The question I have for you, right, working with the city council, monolithically Democrat, I think maybe there's an independent on there, right? What is going to be the challenges working with them, and what's going to be your strategy to work with the city council?
Yeah, that's a good one. So a lot of people are worried that, wow, you're not a Democrat, you're going to have this Democrat city council, but I'm going to tell you that some of the city council members that I've worked with them and their staff, they are very tired of being strong-armed, by the current administration. And when the strong mayor form of government was set up in 2004, they didn't foresee a city council that was going to be weak and let a mayor take advantage of them like that has happened. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of the strong mayor form. I've just had a meeting a couple days ago talking to a group that's putting together for the voters. So it has to go to the voters, but we're going to do that before the end of the first term, is get us back to something that resembles what we used to have, but a little bit better, so we don't just leave it again, but a city manager in there and having co-equal branches of government with the city council and the mayor. But getting back to this, working with them immediately, there's a good 5 of them that we can work with that I already know right off the bat. The others, I think that they're going to get on board too, just when they realize that every district is my district. I don't hold your people in your district hostage by saying you got to go along with me on this vote, or else you're not going to get that funding, you're not going to get your streets fixed, you're not going to get I don't understand how you could do that. That's every district is the mayor's district, right? Those are his people too. So when they see that I'm coming at them like that, and that we're going to be an honest broker working with them and try to fix all of the problems in all of the districts that we can, I think we're going to get a lot more people on board than what you think. It's going to be a breath of fresh air. They might not come out and say it openly because that might hurt their political careers, but behind closed doors, they're going to really like me. Good question.
Yeah. We got one more over here.
Yeah.
And we'll take you. That'll get us to the last.
Do you want to bring an NFL football team back
Yeah.
to San Diego?
Yeah. Right. So the tale of two cities, right? We're the 8th largest, and Las Vegas is the 28th. And you can see how is Las Vegas in the middle of the desert pulling off everything they're doing. They're having to tell pro teams no come here, right? Yeah. We should be having we should have NBA team, NHL team, NFL team, all of that. We should, and we will work hard to make that happen. I promise it'll happen in 4 years, but we will lay the groundwork. It'll make it happen. we'll make it happen.
We got
Yeah.
rugby.
All right, there you go.
Just addressing parking reform
Mm.
and just figuring out, again, I see those parking here folks, they're in undercover cars at times, and they say they're except Sunday and holidays, but they're working like
Yeah.
nobody's business. I've
Yeah.
never seen anybody work harder, really, so.
So they deserve a raise? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know, I think they're doing pretty good, but I don't know, but I just think there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I guess living downtown kind of just.
So you want the parking enforcement to be a little more chill?
I maybe not, maybe not, but I just think there should be like clear,
Oh, yeah.
plan
Yeah.
of, I think when they say except.
We're sitting undercover
Sunday.
cars.
Yeah, I think we were ranked
Sundays.
not only the most expensive city to live in, but we also got the award for the worst parking. I'm not making that up. That was one of the things we won as well. So another trophy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So it is very difficult to find parking downtown, and it doesn't help that a lot of the people who are making the plans don't want us to be driving downtown. It hurts when we are the surveys that they take for MTS. They take the survey of people on the bus and on the trolley and ask them, "Hey, is this route a good route for you?" Well, of course it's a good route for them. They're on that route, right? So instead, what they should be doing is they should be going out. Well, that's why you see so many empty buses driving around town, right?
Well, that's why I stopped working downtown, because the parking
Yeah.
is so bad.
But getting back to that, I would push as hard as I could to get some good surveys. Go to the parking lot, and when the people are getting out of their car, why did you drive? I don't mean in like a real negative way, but hey, why didn't you take the trolley? Why didn't you take, and what would have worked for you? Where do you live? And get that kind of information, and then we build a better system. That would open up a lot of the parking spaces too, I think. And I think a lot of people want to take transit. It's just that it's dangerous and it's dirty right now. We need to change that up. We used to have a joint task force with the police department, the sheriff's department. It was a really small one, but it made a huge difference. It got a lot of the felons off the trolley. We got rid of that like 3 years ago, and so we are.
Coincidentally.
Yeah. So
We also have
I
a
want
lot
to
of
bring that
tourists,
back.
though. People don't know like where to park. We have a lot of tourists in this city.
Yeah.
So it's like some people don't have the data.
Right.
To know that where to
And almost every street you're on, there's a different sign with a lot of small print.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, we can definitely look at that.
All right, we're
Second.
coming up on our time, and so we'll round this out with the last question from Shane.
I had a quick question. So, City Hall looked so bad that I decided I didn't want to work at City Hall. And I dropped out of the District 4 Council race because it was so bad.
Just because of the building.
No, just because of the building, absolutely. No, I'm just kidding. But there was a lot of reasons. But what would you look to do with City Hall? Because obviously it's a building in turmoil.
Yeah.
The infrastructure is just completely diminished.
Yeah.
What would be your strategy to move staff out of City Hall?
Yeah.
Would you move back to the county building, move the executive offices back to the county building where they originally were, and potentially consider closing City Hall or leaving city staff over at City Hall? What would be your plan?
That's a great question. I don't have the plan hammered out yet, but I do have a team that's looking at some of the different city properties. We have everything from, talking about the pro team, we own the Chargers' old practice field, right? The police use it, now they call it Police Plaza. A lot of land there where we could build something really nice. There's been some talk about using some of Horton Plaza, which is gonna probably go vacant, maybe working something out there as well. But I understand we gotta get out of that building, but I don't think that's gonna be year one. Year one is going to be taking care of all the other stuff that needs to get taken care of. I understand that building is decrepit. People were kicking that down the road far too long. All the upkeep on all the buildings. I work at the police department. The police headquarters is the same way. It's half the time. Half the elevators are working if you're lucky. That's how most of the city properties are. They've just been neglected for far too long. So we will get out of that building, not necessarily while I'm the mayor, but we'll have a plan to get out of there. Where we go, I don't know yet, but we're looking at every option. And man, if you want to jump on board, Shane, and help out with that part of the process, I would be glad to have you.
All right. Thank you. Mike's coming back up to do the rest of the commercial.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
I thank him for keeping on task. He told me he couldn't keep time right.
You did great.
He did great.
You did great. You all did great. Thank you so much for coming. I want to just say a couple more things. First, take your passion and put it into action. Find a candidate that you like. Democrat, Republican, Independent, it makes no difference. Find a candidate that you like, are passionate about, and work for him or her, and make a difference. Second thing that you can do is join taxpayers at $99 a year. We need your time, and we need your talents, and we need your money. And at $99 a year, I think that's a pretty good investment. So thank you very much on behalf of taxpayers. I want to just say one more thing, and this is really from my heart, it's really in passing. We are at a point in our society today, where we are seeing mobs take over our college campuses. I am very much personally worried about our democracy. I think many of you in this room are too. So if you believe in prayer, please pray. If you don't believe in prayer, that's fine. Find some way to stand up and take action. I can tell you personally as a Christian, I never thought I would see the day when our Jewish brothers and sisters were treated so shabbily and so in such a discriminatory, racist, hateful manner. It is really, in my opinion, heartbreaking and un-American. We are better than that. And I just hate to leave you with that downer, because he's up and he's got great ideas. And so please, as we wrap up tonight, take as much time as you like and talk to
Thanks,
Larry.
Mike.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good question.